America's Forum. We're also going to welcome back in our friend, former Colorado Congressman Bob Schaffer, Skyping in to talk education and current events. Now, Bob, no need to get nervous, because Olga's got a question. Back in the days when we were in Congress, when reporters would come up and say, hey, I got a personal question, that would set off alarm bells. But rest easy, because Olga's question has to do with education. Yes, ma'am.
Well, it has to do with education and your children, Bob. So it's actually a very nice question. This is not a difficult one, but I was marveled when I read this article where you recount how you and your wife first got involved in the school when your children, mind you, this was years back, your twins went to kindergarten. You were not very happy with the expectations you wanted, and that experience, your passion, really has made a big difference. And I can relate to that, because I want my girls to get the very best as well.
Well, that was our path to school reform and activism and public school reform as well, and contributed an awful lot to my motivation in the state Senate and Congress, State Board of Education, and other things I've done in politics as well. But yeah, we took our kids to kindergarten. Our oldest two, we've got 5, and our oldest 2 are twins. And we brought them to the school for kindergarten and discovered that the 2 teachers, they had 2 different teachers, and those 2 teachers had very different curriculum and different teaching styles and just different directions altogether. And the more we asked questions, the more we discovered there was not a written curriculum, there was not a coherent academic plan for these kids all the way through elementary school. And we just discovered that's the way it was back in those days. And we're talking 20 years ago. And so we decided that as parents, as all parents, so we're personally responsible for the education of our kids. We hire schools and teachers to assist us in our job of educating our children. So we set out to find a better way, and we found some other parents in Fort Collins who agreed with us and had a similar set of criticisms and a positive viewpoint for what education ought to be, and we locked arms with them and helped lead the charter school movement here in Colorado. And so here it is today. We got a charter school law passed and about 18 years ago, and about 15% of Colorado's kids now are educated in charter schools, and they are the best schools in the state of Colorado.
And again, you've proven that empirically with the numbers on the American College Test. I mean, I reiterate that for some who may just be joining us. What has come out of your school in the past couple of years in terms of the ACT?
Well, we have only had 3 graduating classes, the 3rd one being this year. And those 3 classes have each held the highest ACT scores in the state of Colorado. The current seniors here, the class of 2015, broke the all-time state record at 28.63. So in terms of preparing kids for college, and not just to get to college, that's frankly pretty easy. Preparing kids to thrive in college is a whole nother level altogether. That was our goal. That's what we set out to do, and that's what we're delivering. Our kids don't only experience that when it comes to some objective measurements, in this case the ACT. We're proving it.
And Bob, again, congratulations in order to you. Any advice you would have to maybe others in other states who just don't have these numbers, who look onto you, to your state, and wonder, how do we get there?
Yeah, parents need to educate themselves, not in great depth, but in some depth, in terms of the philosophy of education that is, I think, taking our nation down an improper path. Most education in America today is oriented toward job training. And while we all want jobs and we all want to be economically independent and gainfully employed, it is important for us as a nation to maintain a citizenry of generally well-educated young leaders, and that means a classical education, same kind of education that our founding fathers would have pursued. I mean, now they learned in Greek and Latin, and I'm not suggesting that necessarily, although those are great languages to have in your background as a student. But you need to be exposed to great literature. You need to have an understanding of key dates and key events in U.S. history, and you need to have a precise understanding of our language and our culture here in America, and understand what made it so. If we don't have that, and that's what we try to teach here at this school, if we don't have that nationally, our republic will be imperiled. And so we're beating that trend, not only on the philosophy, but it just comes to show that after 12 years of that in a school like Liberty Common High School, it does arm these kids to do very well in college and to become gainfully employed someday when they move on from there.
Fair enough. We'll have to leave it right there, Bob Schaffer. Tell you what, we'll have you back sometime soon to reassess what's going on with politics in the Centennial State. But the story of Liberty Common High School is indeed uncommon, and we thank you for sharing it with us.